Good morning, guys, and welcome to iPunt Smart. And also, Happy New Year, 1st of January 2021. Hopefully, 2021 is a way better year than 2020. It doesn't look like that in the first, though, because we start off with a race, maiden juvenile plate, with every single horse being a first timer. Now, it's not quite good style to start off the new year like that, and nothing to go by apart from breeding and betting. So my first choice here is the algorithm's first choice here is Old Glory at 5 to 10, but I sort of get the feeling that it's probably going to get beaten by something. Now that something could be Silent Observer with Sharon Kotzen and Lyle Hewitson. It could be South Sandwich with Smith and von Rensburg, or it could be Wiley Winks at 25 to 1 with Joan Nell and Chase Majon. I'm going to go with the little bit of each way on Wiley Winks here, 25 to 1, and the top four at 1.25 or 25 to 20. So that will be my each way play. And the first, and the reason for that is because I have quite a strong other runner for Joan Nell popping up later. I think, yes, what a winner in the fifth race that I quite fancy, the stable change and all the rest. So that's going to be my play. It does look like Bass and Doormeyer is all the rage for quite a few races as well. And they start in the second race, and I think their best chances is probably in the second and third race to win. So bipod 6734, and now in the second race, and here Chai pops up as the first choice at 5 to 1, with Soho Spirit the second choice, Grief and Shane at 4.5, and then Bad Reputation, Candice Bass Robinson and Doormeyer at 0.75, the odds on favourite. So I'm looking at these bat figures, and remember these bat figures are adjusted according to the actual race in question, taking averages for what the difference in handicaps is between the various races. The strength of the actual course is what we call it. So in this race, Chai, Soho Spirit, Bad Reputation and Star Ruby is my first four. Now Alan Greef has Kendall Mini that's been winning a few of late. You can see Kendall Mini's ride has the highest best bat, but it's red bats, so not quite sure if it can handle the grass, not quite sure if it can handle the step up for another 400 meters. So those two things considered, it's not really a race where I want to get involved with. Soho Spirit started off at 1.85 over the 1900 loss and drifted to 4 to 1. And then Bad Reputation popping up. Bass Robinson is quite bullish about Bad Reputation, saying it's the filly to beat. But yeah, ratings popping up with Chai in the first race, so nothing really standing out for us here. The rest, Billy Ann is always there and thereabout. Ryan Munger is now in Fairview as well. Cape Battis, Queen Louise, and Tinted Vision, the next bests. Moving to the third race, and here Candice Bass Robinson and Doormeyer does pop up as first choice. What a flight! But it's not cut and dry here either, not at 1.25 price. And I quite like Autumn Sky, Mackenzie with Ryan Munger. You can see that it's got the best Super Rule percentage, best greeny points. If I look at these percentages from 32p stats over the 1200 Fairview, Class G, then 29% here on overall ranking, 20% on greeny points, and then Q Casas is also an interesting runner. Western Global best exotic ranking, so it has to be in the exotics, best exact distance, median speed, and also joint best super rule, as well as the best bat curve. And on the bat curve, it's quite a far way ahead of the rest. So in this race, I'm going with 3, 2, 13, and 11. 11 being the second best on the bat curve, best on the intent, Greg Shane, of course, for Alan Greef. So I think those four is the major plays, 3, 2, 13, 11. And then the bigger pick six perm, I've also gone with our blessing, Jock Stradom and Mapanya that had a winner together here on the previous Fairview meeting. The only ride for Mapanya on that time, even with the 1.5 kilos overweight on the last chance. So with our blessing in the bigger pick six at 16 to 1, as well as Great Thunder, Zitz and Chase Majan, highest median speed, low percentage, 7% to win, but 33 to 1, and tongue tie is going off. And if I look at the tongue tie off here, the previous earlier that was a 12.8 when the tongue tie was off. Chase Majan is back as well. Also the best ride from a back perspective was when Chase Majan was riding, so that was picked up with that median speed. Probably getting a little bit fitter now. It's on its third run after a rest. So Great Thunder, the 8th choice here. But yeah, definitely justified that Waterflight is the favorite, with Autumn Sky and Q Cassis as well as Carmelia maybe the biggest threats in this race. So that's why I've gone 3, 2, 13 and 11 in the bipod and the PA, and that'll be plenty to get you through. In the next race, I'm going with only 2 horses, and these 2 horses is also the 2 best rated jockeys in the field, Greg Shane and Lyle Hewitson. And the reason why Golden Chance is not my banker is Hey Boy is also a stable change and also has a 22% on the highest intentions. So Lyle Hewitson being booked for this ride, you can see that the 1200 meters back here on Gravel Poly was supported 5.2 into 4.2. It is an ex-Durban horse, and today with Sharon Kotson moving, it's had just over a month in the new stable, because I'm sure they moved it after this Gravel Poly run. It did get a bit of support on that day. It wasn't far off, 3.3 lengths behind the winner. It's had some decent runs, and if I'm looking against these 2 horses, then Golden Chance is also an ex-Durban horse, and the ex-Durban horses on these 2 occasions, both of them has quite similar kind of credentials to win this race. Hey Boy was pretty decent on the lengths behind the winner, and Golden Chance has sort of lost his bit here. And you can see the bat figures went from 8, 7, then up to 13 and 20. You can see on these lengths as well. So those would be my first 2 selections past the post. Golden Chance and Hey Boy. For third, God of Thunder, 12 to 1, Montana Turner and Dylan Larina. And for fourth, Oh Heavenly, does pop up on the fastest exact distance median speed, 17% chance to win, and the exact course exact distance bat CD, and it's due to this 50 kilos that it's only carrying, so it only has a very little bit to carry. So bipod and PA 4 and 3 I think is enough, and then the pick 6 I've gone with 4, 3, 1, and then the bigger perm 8, Oh Heavenly, 9, Cider. Hickey Stradom's got only 3 for the day, and Stradom takes a bit of weight off the back, but gives it back on being overweight as well, but only 53 kilos. And then Karakoram, Montana Turner's other runner, with Sandile Kati, does have the best speed rating in the field. So that's the cover, 4, 3, 1, 8, 9, 2 in that order. Now, Step Lively, I'm taking a chance to leave it out because it's in really good form. Weird that, yeah, and Global's taking the run again, and I think Golden Chance is probably the better one, with Greg Shane taking the ride, but I do have some respect for Step Lively because the 3 runs to date it has massive support in the market. first, third and second on those 3 occasions, and today it is trying the grass for the first time. So Step Lively is a bit of a concern. If it does have betting support, I'm going to start getting worried. Race 5, and race 5 is the first runner that I really think is maybe worthwhile on the nose as a little bit of a nibble. Comes as a nice price at 72, and you can even get 80% return for a top 3, which is pretty decent for what a winner. Joannell, stable change. Lyle Hewitson gets the ride. You can see the other Joannell runner is Chase Majan, so a bit of intention shown here by Lyle Hewitson being picked for the ride. Pops up as 40% on overall ranking. It pops up as greeny points, 100% on form, which is 5 out of 5 over the 1,000 meters, and also 80% on statistical form, 60 on intentions, 80% on total T curve. And I would think the biggest danger is not actually the favorite for me in this race. The biggest danger from the 3 is, first of all, Aqua Delta, Mackenzie and Jean here, 6-1, 60% on exotic ranking is quite high. And then Tarsus is also got decent bat figures here, with Greef and Shane taking the ride. And after that, I'm going to be saying this is an interesting runner for me, Daiichi. And the reason for that is because in the 6th race, Gavin Smith, does look to have quite a strong hand in the 6th race, and he preempts that very strong hand with Daiichi. Daiichi coming back after more than a 4 months rest. But the part that's very interesting for me here is it's had the 3 runs on the grass. Went from major juvenile plate, which it won, and I'm just going to open the What a Winner times as well, just to compare these two. As we can see, that's Kenilworth 1000 versus Fairview 1000, and the 1000 at Kenilworth 61's 63. I'm talking about the grass only now, not the Fairview poly part here, which is 56.79 is very, very good, of course. But that being said, that was a 53 kilos, and now he's carrying 61, so 8 kilos more on the back is obviously going to make a bit of a difference to What a Winner. So I've got a bit of respect for Daiichi here, because the 57.42 is obviously a really good time for maiden juveniles at 60 kilos, and then an even better run on the second, winning by 7 lengths, 56.66 adjusted time for Daiichi here. It's getting tongue-tie fitted as well, and it probably means that something went wrong on that Fairview Poly debut in the SPI, and it was sort of kind of expected, because Carl Steyn was taking the ride, and the probabilities is not very strong for Steyn and Smith to take a win. But we are back on Marco van Rensburg, and Marco van Rensburg's got 2 runs on Daiichi and has won 2 runs on Daiichi. So you can clearly understand why I think Daiichi at 12-1 is probably a decent inclusion in this race. So I think those 2 for me, What a Winner and Daiichi, is pretty decent, with Aqua Delta also looking pretty strong, but stronger in the poly, because the 1000 volt classic and 1000 volt figures, 10th and 12th, was not as great with these 11 and 12 bats, but it's improved recently, 6 and 5 bats, which is very close to the 5 on the What a Winner form line as well. And then Tarsus doesn't have to improve a lot here either. Very consistent, 2, 4, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, and most recently 7 and 7, but again not on the grass, only on the Fairview poly. So that's why this Daiichi is interesting on the grass for me. Then Sullenberger, the other Greef runner that could also pull it off. And you know, Greef really likes to do this kind of thing when the favorite, when Shane jumps on the one, and he's got a lot of them, and then one of his other runners does well. So you can see Sullenberger is not out of it either. Second, first, and that's Vol Turf, and then 1000 Fairview Poly first, Fairview 1200, a little bit too far, fourth, then back to the 1000 first and second, then in a feature race, was a bit too much to handle, but he's jumping back on the 1000 meters again, where that grass run was a bit too far, I think. So Sullenberger is another one that I think has a bit of a go here. So Greef does have the run of the race a little bit because Greef has so many entries, but I do think What a Winner will be involved in this race as well. So for me, what I've done in the fifth race, got a bit wide, bipod 3725, which is What a Winner, Aqua Delta, Tarsus, and Daiichi, and in the bigger brackets, the one Sullenberger, and also the Candice Bass Robinson Doormeyer favorite Apollo Ace. But yeah, this is a kind of a race which just have to be, what do I call it, careful. Um, Even something like Miss Honey, if you look at Miss Honey at 30 to 1, 4.29 and the 4.59 figures here, was back on the 1000 meters, and he's clearly a horse that does better on the 1000 meters, and he's being brought back after he's had 3 bad runs on the Fairview Poly 12 and 1300 meters, that 4 lengths, 10 lengths, 8 lengths, 14, 21, 21 on the bat figures, but prior to that on the 1000 meters, you can see that adjusted time of 55.34 is obviously clearly very good. It's even better than the John Nell last 56.79, and that was a 55.34, 54 kilos, only 1 kilo more today. So and What a Winner is getting 8 more kilos today. So Miss Honey is a bit of a roughie at 30 to 1 as well to think about. But we can't pick them all. In the sixth race, as I said earlier, that's why my hunch is that I have a little bit of Daiichi in here, is because Find Me Unafraid and Bold Strike is both Gavin Smith runners. Lyle Hewitson on the one, Marco van Rensburg, the stable jockey, on the other one. Now the interesting part for me here is that if I look at the probability stats, first of all, I get a 42% on form, which is pretty high, and that goes to Gavin Smith and Marco van Rensburg. And again, a question of them taking note lately with Marco van Rensburg taking the last 2 runs, 2 decent runs. And the horse actually does have better form over the grass. Second here over the 2000 Fairview MR70, second over the 2000 Fairview DRS. And those were both with Lucas Pester on board. So the last 2 runs, they must have shown something with Marco van Rensburg being back on. Bold Strike has also been gelded. So all of that makes for interesting that Marco picks Bold Strike and Lyle Hewitson gets Find Me Unafraid. I don't think there's way too much between those two, and all the Find Me Unafraid runs over the longer distances was on the poly, and today we're back on the grass, and these 2 grass runs over 1200 Fairview wasn't all that great for Find Me Unafraid. So that's my hedge in race 6. Find Me Unafraid and Bold Strike is the 2 that I'm hedging. And then I'm also going to nibble on the Beyond Temptation, the start of Tara Lang's day. And she has 3 quite promising runners in race 6, 7 and 8. Starting off with Beyond Temptation with Chase Jean taking the ride. Yes, it does have a 13 draw to come by, which is a bit of a downset, but just clearly looking at the 1 run over the 1600 Fairview in a Fillies and Mares 78, finished second and almost won 0.75 lengths behind the winner. It was also the best exact course, exact distance Blue Bat in the race by quite some distance, 10 lengths, because Latest Craze 29, Little Drummer Boy 27, and Market Day 39 is the only other horses that's actually done the 1600 Fairview. and therefore my third choice at 12 to 1, Beyond Temptation, if it can overcome the draw, could be a little bit of a inclusion as a runner here as well. So I've gone with 6, 1 and 14 in the buy pot and in the PA, and then the bigger pick 6, the 7 Nixon, the 4 Latest Craze, and the 5 Tiger in the Sun, which is the actual favorite. So taking a bit of a chance here with the hunch that Gavin Smith is going to try and win this race on Find Me Unafraid or Bold Strike. It's not cut and dry, but if I look at only those two runners, look at these bats 9 and 8, 5 and 5, that's a little bit of a hide because it had its one run in the last 42 days that's a bit worse off, so that it can hide, and those runs on the 84 is the better runs. It's also got the bat curves in its favor, the consistency rewards, and I think those two runners for me, one of the two is going to try and strike in this race today. So Find Me Unafraid, Bold Strike, then Beyond Temptation, the 12 to 1 Tara Lang, then Nixon, Candice Robinson and Doormeyer. It also has some hidden form on the bat, 168 on the 5.28 here, and has the best highest bump curve. So maybe not a bad idea to go 6, 1, 14 and 7 in the last leg of the bipod. And then Tiger in the Sun, the favorite, Latest Craze, Turner and Lorena. And that's Turner Lorena has also got the highest adjusted time. Not bad on the bat figures either, but supportive on the adjusted time for P-stats. Not very good. Only 8% of your winners coming from top rated, finishing first on P-stats. Then a little bit of a roughie that could upset the apple cart if the bat 42 is anything to go by, but it is red bat 42, Hickey straight on, Trap Queen. Hickey's only got the 3 for the day with Kendall Mini taking the ride, only 3 for the day for Kendall as well. And if you look at the P-stats, support 50% on the bat 42 top rated to win, which is very high. So another runner that could potentially be doing a bit of trouble. The part that I didn't like and why I left it out was the 3.62% winners for Kendall Mini in life, and at the track the 3.96% winners, which is terrible. If you consider that Lyle Hewitson has 15% on the track, so 3% versus 15%, it's obviously a probability thing. Can't put them all. So moving on, 7th race, and yeah, one that actually stands out quite a little bit on the actual ranking averages points, which has a ranking average of 3.18, with the second choice Sovereign Secret being 4.32 and the third choice Wallace Simpson being 4.5 and the fourth choice Princess Khaleesi being 4.71. So 1.14 gap on the ranking average on the first choice here, Sailing Ship, 12 to 1, best overall ranking, 38% chance to win on overall ranking for a 12 to 1 shot is lovely. And then supported by some other things like 38% on the bat 42, 25% on form, 30% on greenie points. So that's at a nice price. The favorite Sovereign Secret has been backed a lot. It's now at 11 to 4. So I wouldn't be surprised if it wins. Lyle Hewitson takes the ride, only runner for Justin Snaith. So have to note that as well. And then another horse that I actually have to include here is the potential Alan Greef double in the last two stands out as well. So Wallace Simpson, I'll show you the other one in the last race. So it could be Wallace Simpson or even Princess Khaleesi, because those two ranking averages is only 0.1 from each other. And it could even be something like Luna Wish, because Alan Greef and Stradom, the best bat curve in the field. So there's a lot of these hidden little things that's happening today. So I've gone 2, 7 and 9 for my small PA, Sailing Ship, Sovereign Secret and Wallace Simpson. and then the 6 Princess Khaleesi and the 1 Luna Wish as my bigger perm, and I put all 5 of them into my pick 6, 2, 6, and 2, 7, 9, 6, and 1. So those are the 5. I've left out gimme, 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 because my back figures on gimme as 6 lengths to find on these Sailing Ship, Wallace Simpson, Sovereign Secret, and even Luna Wish bet. So yeah, I'm more worried about something like a Calandra here with Greif and Gould coming from a bit of a rest gap here and decent bomb roll figures as well. So like I said earlier, you can't take them all. I'm trying to keep the pick 6 to a manageable value, and today it's small perm is 4 times 3 is 12 times 6 is 72 times 3 is 216 times 5 is 1080 times 3 is 3,240 bucks only for the small pick 6, and you're going to have a decent chance of catching it on that kind of price, 3,240 on the full. So I'm hoping it's Alan Greif and Greg Shane, or even more, I'm hoping Tara Lang and Chase Majan takes the last 2, because I'll show you the 8th race is also top 2 rated Tara Lang and Alan Greif. So I'm hoping Greif is not going to come with one of these others, because he has to be careful of Tara Lang also trying for the double year with the first attempt Beyond Temptation as a first entry for the day, and then Sailing Ship as the strongest difference between first and second for the day, or sorry, second strongest, 1.14 between Sailing Ship and Sovereign Secret. The strongest difference for the day is coming on in the last race with Danilo at 4.25. Ranking average of 3.29, and the second highest is 5.18, which is Let's Blaze, and then third highest is Lion King, Tara Lang and Chase Majan, 14 to 1, also second on T Curve, and 14 to 1. So, and then all the sevens, Montana Turner at 20 to 1 with Dylan Larena, adjusted time the highest again, Bomb Roll 42. So it's again a question of a Dylan Larena horse with the highest adjusted time, interesting enough, 20 to 1 on that one. So in the last, I've gone 11, 4, and 2 in my PA. And then in the pick 6, I've gone 11, 4, and 2 as well. And then the next best is 6, 7, 5. All the 7s. Doppio Oreo, which is the 14 to 10 favorite. And Mary Lee, which is Sharon Kotzen and Lyle Hewitson with the highest super rule percentage. So I had to take a few chances today in the small pick 6. It only works out to 32450, and the bigger pick 6 has the cover in there as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if it pays on the first day of the month. The exotics should pay a bit. And I think that's it for me for today. So yeah, it's not all that easy. Let's just look at what I'm talking about, the ranking averages. If you look at the best ranking averages, is popping up here on the last race, which is a 3.14 for Danilo, followed by the second best here is only a 5.38 for Lion King and a 5.39 for all the sevens. So clearly 3.14 average. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 runners in this field. You can see it's quite consistent. 2, 1, 1, 2, 7, 4, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. So it's quite nice to see that kind of stats on a 4 to 1 shot. And very much the same can be said to the other one that I quite like, Tara Lang. Sailing Ship at 12 to 1, 4 in the betting, and then 1 on overall ranking, 1 on greeny points, second on exotic ranking, third adjusted time, second on speed rating, not so great on pace, medium speed, exact distance, medium speed though, second, form first, stat forms third, intent 2, super rules second, T curve first, Bomb 42, first 84, second 168 again, first Bomb curve, second behind Sovereign Secret. Bat 42 also first behind with Sovereign Secret next. Second on Bat 84, where Princess Khaleesi is the top Bat 84, so they're trying to hide that form a bit there. And Bat 168, it's actually the first on Sailing Ship, and also the Bat Curve is first on Sailing Ship. So, I hope that helped, guys. That's 30 minutes already, so I guess I have to stop talking. Hope you have a great day on the first day of January. Have a great New Year's, and here's where you can look at your potential doubles here. You can see here is where Greg Shane, Golden Chance, pops up quite nicely. He also pops up in the back here in Danilo quite nicely. Then Mackenzie and Ryan Munger pops up here as pretty decent, but average of only 4, so not a great average on Autumn Sky, but some good number 1 rankings there. And then going further down here, Gavin Smith and Find Me Unafraid, as well as Bold Strike. Looks like decent chances there. John Nell on Lyle Hewitson, what a winner, looks pretty decent on 3.25 here. In the very first, Silent Observer 2.57, but there's a lot of first timers, so I'm not going to get involved in that race. Here is Tara Lang Sailing Ship 3.18, which is really decent in this kind of size of the field. So just follow these as the results pops in, and do put your ODR, your on-day rules on this ODR button here, because that is going to help you with showing you what works as far as trainers, jockeys, draws, etc. Okay, have a great day.